Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Y&R Spoilers Weekly Update October 20th to 24th, Sienna vs. Kyle, Kane and Devin connect, Mariah haunted. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for the week of October 20th, 2025. Fans can expect Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealor, to interrogate Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun. Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, tries to make amends with Devin Winters, Bryton James. Want more of The Young and the Restless? Get updates on the latest news about The Young and the Restless, straight to your inbox. We use your personal data for interest-based advertising, as outlined in our privacy notice. What is this? Report ad. Plus, Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes, is haunted by her past. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Kyle Abbott vs. Sienna Bacall. Let's start off with Sienna, who has just come onto the scene. Fans saw the club owner interact with Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, and Claire Grace Newman, Haley Aaron. Then, Kyle watches as Holden has a hushed conversation with Sienna at the hotel. Claire does approach Kyle and asks what the heck he's doing. That is when Kyle gets nasty and makes more allegations about Claire's dynamic with Holden. As the week progresses, Kyle confronts Sienna and demands the truth about Holden. I can't see Sienna blurting anything out to entitled Kyle. She doesn't seem like the type to play with nonsense and fools. She might end up giving Kyle a warning of her own. The Young and the Restless shocker, Kyle Abbott vs. Sienna Bacall, Genoa City's fiercest feud erupts into chaos. In a town that thrives on power, passion, and betrayal, nothing stays quiet for long, and Genoa City is about to witness one of the most explosive rivalries in recent history. Kyle Abbott, the polished yet impulsive heir to the Abbott legacy, has always believed he could control his world. But when a mysterious woman named Sienna Bacall enters the picture, that illusion shatters into a million shards. What begins as a business conflict quickly spirals into a personal war that could cost Kyle everything he's built, and expose secrets that no one was ever supposed to find out. It all started innocently enough, or so it seemed. Sienna Bacall, a fiercely intelligent and magnetic entrepreneur, arrived in Genoa City under the radar. Her focus was laser-sharp: expand Bacall Media's reach and carve out space in a city dominated by powerful families like the Abbotts and Newmans. But it didn't take long for her ambition to cross paths with Kyle Abbott, co-CEO of Jabot Cosmetics. From their first meeting, sparks flew, but not the romantic kind. Sienna made it clear she wasn't here to play by anyone else's rules. She had a vision, and if that vision meant going up against the Abbotts, so be it. Kyle, used to getting his way both in business and relationships, underestimated Sienna's strength. He thought he could charm her into partnership, or at least talk her into a mutually beneficial deal. But Sienna wasn't about to become another name on Kyle's long list of business conquests. Instead, she exposed a hidden vulnerability in him, a fear of losing control, of not living up to his father Jack's expectations, and of being outmaneuvered by a woman who refused to be intimidated. What began as professional tension soon became a battle of wills. When Sienna publicly challenged Jabot's latest campaign, calling it outdated and corporate safe, Kyle retaliated by cutting ties with her brand partnership proposal, effectively blacklisting Bacall Media from several of Jabot's connections. But Sienna struck back harder. She launched a competing product line, one that cleverly tapped into the same market Kyle had been targeting. Within weeks, the buzz around her new company was all anyone in the Genoa City business world could talk about. Behind the scenes, though, things were far more personal. Rumors began to swirl that Sienna had once been romantically linked to a high-profile figure in the cosmetics industry, a man. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. With deep ties to the Abbott family. That connection, if proven true, could explain her uncanny knowledge of Jabot's internal operations and her strategic moves that always seemed one step ahead of Kyle. As tension escalated, Genoa City's elite began taking sides. Summer Newman, Kyle's ex and the mother of his child, tried to play peacekeeper, warning Kyle not to let his ego cloud his judgment. But Kyle, ever proud, refused to back down. "She wants a war," he reportedly told a confidant. "She's going to get one." Jack Abbott, meanwhile, could see the writing on the wall. Having weathered countless business battles over the years, he recognized Sienna's brilliance, and her danger. "She's not just another rival," Jack warned. "She's a disruptor. And disruptors don't stop until they win." But even Jack couldn't have predicted how personal the feud would become. In a shocking twist, leaked emails suggested that Sienna had somehow gained access to Jabot's internal strategy documents. The revelation rocked the company and sent Kyle into damage control mode. But when he accused Sienna of corporate espionage, she fired back with a lawsuit of her own, alleging defamation and unfair business practices. Suddenly, the battle lines were drawn not only in boardrooms but in courtrooms too. Yet the story doesn't end there. Because behind the fierce competition, there's undeniable chemistry, a spark that neither Kyle nor Sienna can seem to extinguish. Every heated confrontation, every biting remark, carries a charge that borders on attraction. Could their feud actually be masking something deeper? Some Genoa City insiders believe that Kyle's frustration stems not only from Sienna's defiance but from the fact that she fascinates him. "He's used to women wanting him," one insider whispered. "Sienna doesn't. And that drives him crazy." For her part, Sienna has remained composed but cryptic, often dismissing questions about her connection to Kyle with a sly smile. "The Abbotts don't scare me," she once said during an interview. "If anything, they inspire me to be bolder." As weeks turn into months, the rivalry continues to evolve. Kyle's temper has led him to make risky business moves, some of which have already begun to backfire. Meanwhile, Sienna's influence is growing, her company now seen as a legitimate threat to Jabot's market dominance. Even Ashley Abbott, never one to shy away from conflict, has taken an interest in the feud, wondering aloud whether Sienna's drive reminds her of herself. "She's dangerous because she's smart," Ashley confided. "But she's also exactly the kind of person who shakes things up, and maybe that's what Genoa City needs right now." But as the feud intensifies, secrets start bubbling to the surface. A shocking revelation threatens to change everything. Sienna Bacall might not be who she claims to be. An anonymous tip sent to the Genoa City Chronicle suggests that Sienna is actually connected to an old Abbott family scandal, one that involves a hidden heir and a cover-up that dates back decades. When Kyle stumbles upon a photo linking Sienna's mother to his late grandfather, John Abbott, the implications are explosive. Could Sienna be an Abbott by blood? If true, their war would take on a tragic twist, and their mutual attraction would be even more dangerous. Meanwhile, the fallout spreads. Jabot's stock begins to fluctuate amid public scrutiny. Board members question Kyle's judgment, and whispers circulate about removing him from his position. At the same time, Sienna's empire begins to crack under pressure, with investors wary of her increasingly public battle. But neither of them will back down. In one unforgettable confrontation at Society, witnesses reported seeing Kyle and Sienna face off in a heated argument that nearly turned physical. Voices were raised, tempers flared, and glasses shattered. Yet when the dust settled, something unspoken lingered in the air, a tension that neither could deny. Later that night, Kyle was spotted outside her penthouse, and though no one knows what happened behind closed doors, insiders claim the two may have crossed a line that could change everything. Are they enemies, or something more? The next morning, both appeared in public composed, their rivalry seemingly intact. But those close to them noticed subtle changes, longer glances, quieter tones, and an energy that felt far more personal than professional. It's a dangerous game they're playing, one where love, power, and vengeance intertwine until no one can tell the difference. As the storyline unfolds, fans are bracing for impact. Will Kyle destroy Sienna before she ruins him, or will she expose secrets that could tear the Abbott family apart from within? And what if, beneath all the rage and rivalry, these two powerful souls are destined for something neither of them expected? In Genoa City, please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Alliances shift like quicksand, and enemies often become lovers. As whispers of betrayal and passion grow louder, one thing is certain: the battle between Kyle Abbott and Sienna Bacall is far from over. It's a storm that threatens to consume not only their careers but their hearts, and when it finally breaks, Genoa City will never be the same again. Kane Ashby and Devon Winters connect. Over with Kane, he reconnects with Devon. The tycoon will try to make amends. However, when Devon feels wronged or someone he cares about has been targeted, he can be rather unforgiving. So, I'm not sure if Devon will believe Kane, and might tell him to prove it. The young and the restless shockers, Kane Ashby and Devon Winters reconnect, a brotherhood rekindled or a business war ready to explode? Genoa City is buzzing once again as two familiar faces step back into the spotlight, Kane Ashby and Devon Winters. These two men share a complicated past, marked by betrayal, loss, and redemption. Now, as fate brings them back into each other's orbit, fans are asking the big question: is this a long overdue reconciliation or the beginning of a new feud that could shake the entire city to its core? Kane's unexpected return has already caused a stir among the Abbotts, the Newmans, and nearly everyone connected to Chancellor Winters. After years away, Kane walks back into Genoa City with a quiet confidence and an air of mystery. He's older, wiser, and clearly carrying secrets. Gone is the impulsive man who once let ambition and deceit cloud his judgment. In his place stands a man who claims to have learned from his mistakes, but can the residents of Genoa City really trust him? Devon Winters isn't sure. Once upon a time, Kane was like family to him. They worked side by side, fought for the legacy of Catherine Chancellor, and even weathered a few corporate storms together. But trust was shattered when Kane's lies caught up with him, leaving Devon, and Lily, the woman they both cared deeply for, caught in the fallout. Years later, with Lily having moved on and Devon, please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Building his empire, the past still lingers like smoke in the air. Devon has fought to reclaim stability in his life after tragedy and loss. Between his work at Chancellor Winters and raising his son Dominic, Devon has become one of the most powerful and respected figures in Genoa City. But his leadership has also drawn scrutiny. Boardroom power struggles, family drama, and romantic turbulence have tested him at every turn. So when Kane reappears, offering what he calls a fresh start and a business opportunity that could change everything, Devon's instincts tell him to be cautious. Still, there's something about the timing that can't be ignored. Kane claims he's been working abroad on a high-level investment project that could bring billions in revenue to Genoa City, and he wants Devon to be the one to help make it happen. He pitches it as a partnership between two men who know what it's like to fall and fight their way back. But is Kane being sincere, or is this another elaborate scheme? The first meeting between the two men was tense, to say the least. Sources say Devon met Kane at Crimson Lights for what was supposed to be a friendly catch-up. But the atmosphere quickly shifted when business came up. Kane's proposal involved a mysterious new company called Axiom Global, which he described as a tech finance hybrid startup with international reach. Devon listened politely but wasn't convinced. "You've changed your name, your career, and your story, Kane," Devon reportedly said. "But have you changed your motives?" Kane, undeterred, fired back with a confident smile. "Maybe I just learned to play the game better, mate. And maybe you could use an ally who remembers what loyalty used to mean." That line struck a chord, and not just for Devon. Word spread fast through the Genoa City grapevine. Lily Winters, always the peacemaker, urged her brother to give Kane a chance. "He's trying, Devon," she told him. "You both are different people now. Don't let old wounds keep you from new opportunities." But others weren't so forgiving. Billy Abbott, never one to hold back his opinion, warned Devon to watch his back. "Kane Ashby doesn't just show up out of nowhere," Billy said. "If he's here, he wants something. And it's usually not good." Still, Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Devon couldn't shake the feeling that Kane's return wasn't just about business. There was a deeper motive, one tied to Chancellor Industries, Catherine's legacy, and maybe even secrets left buried since Jill Abbott's last big corporate maneuver. Then came the twist that no one saw coming. Kane revealed that he had been in touch with Jill herself. According to him, Jill wanted him to help stabilize Chancellor Winters after months of internal conflict. If true, this could put Kane directly in Devon's path once again, not as a rival, but as a potential partner. Devon, however, questioned why Jill hadn't mentioned it. Was Kane manipulating the truth? Or was Jill playing her own game, using Kane as her wild card to balance Devon's growing dominance? Things became even murkier when Kane dropped another bombshell. He knew about a potential investor looking to buy a major stake in Chancellor Winters. The investor's identity remains a mystery, but rumors suggest it could be linked to a powerful corporate entity from Australia, where Kane has deep ties. Devon, realizing what was at stake, agreed to a private meeting to hear more. That meeting turned into an emotional confrontation. Old resentments came bubbling to the surface: Kane's lies about Sam's paternity, Devon's bitterness over how Kane handled Lily's imprisonment, and the years of distance that followed. At one point, Devon reportedly told Kane, "You cost me trust. You cost Lily peace. You can't just walk in here and act like that never happened." Kane's response was raw. "I know, and I'll live with that. But I also know Catherine believed in second chances. If she were here, she'd tell you the same thing she told me: don't waste time hating when you could be rebuilding." The tension in the room softened. Two men once bound by family and broken by pride suddenly found themselves on common ground. Could this be the beginning of forgiveness? Or the calm before a new storm? Meanwhile, whispers around Chancellor Winters suggest that Kane's Axiom Global deal might intersect with some of Tucker McCall's ongoing schemes. Devon, who's already wary of Tucker's manipulations, suspects Kane could be unknowingly, or perhaps deliberately, working in Tucker's shadow. The intrigue deepens when Audra Charles takes notice. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Opportunist, Audra sees Kane's return as a potential game-changer. If she can align herself with Kane, she might be able to use his connections to undermine Devon's control and advance her own ambitions. Sparks fly when Audra and Kane meet for the first time. Their chemistry is undeniable, and before long, rumors swirl that they've been spotted together late at night at society. Is this a budding romance or a strategic alliance? Devon isn't sure, but one thing's certain: Kane Ashby's reappearance has turned his carefully balanced world upside down. As alliances shift and old wounds reopen, the city braces for what's next. Some believe Kane's sincerity could finally help heal divisions within the Winters family and bring peace to Chancellor Winters. Others suspect that Kane's charm hides a darker agenda, one that could dismantle everything Devon has worked so hard to protect. Either way, their connection, built on history, rivalry, and shared loss, feels inevitable. Two men linked by fate and legacy, both searching for redemption, both haunted by their pasts. If they can find common ground, they might just become the powerhouse duo Genoa City didn't know it needed. But if they clash, the fallout could be catastrophic, not just for them, but for every family tied to the Chancellor Winters empire. In the end, one question looms large: can Kane Ashby and Devon Winters truly reconnect, or are they destined to destroy each other all over again? In Genoa City, loyalty is fragile, forgiveness is rare, and every reunion comes with a price. Whatever happens next, one thing is certain: the saga of Kane and Devon is far from over, and the ripples from their renewed connection will change everything. What is this? Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Report ad. Mariah Copeland haunted. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of October 20th reveal that Mariah will be haunted by her past. There have been headlines stating Ian Ward, Ray Wise, is coming back. So, He might appear in Mariah's memories or flashbacks as she processes her trauma and killer reaction to the bar stranger, Michael Swan. Meanwhile, Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, makes a bold move. This is probably her kiss with Daniel Romalotti, Jr., Michael Graziadei. However, Tessa seems drunk while Daniel doesn't. So, I wonder if he will stop Tessa from making a mistake she'll regret? The Young and the Restless shockers, Mariah Copeland haunted, dark memories return to torment her as a mysterious threat looms over Genoa City. Genoa City is no stranger to secrets, but for Mariah Copeland, the past she thought she'd buried is clawing its way back to the surface, and this time, it's more terrifying than ever. Once the rebellious outsider trying to find her place among the Newmans and the Abbotts, Mariah has worked hard to build a stable, loving life with Tessa Porter and their daughter, Aria. But peace never lasts long in this town. Strange occurrences are beginning to shake Mariah's sense of safety, and whispers are spreading that someone, or something, is haunting her. It all begins with small things. A phone that rings late at night, but no one's on the other end. A familiar perfume lingering in the air when Mariah walks into a room alone. A photo from years ago mysteriously appearing on her nightstand, a photo she swears she burned after her kidnapping by Ian Ward. At first, she brushes it off as coincidence, or perhaps the stress of balancing motherhood and work at Chancellor Winters. But as the days pass, the feeling of being watched becomes impossible to ignore. Mariah starts to see shadows moving in her periphery, reflections in the mirror that vanish when she turns around. Even Tessa notices her growing anxiety, though Mariah tries to hide it. But when Aria's baby monitor crackles to life one night, broadcasting a distorted voice whispering her name, Mariah's facade "please subscribe and like the video before continuing" begins to crumble. "It sounded like me," she confides to Sharon in a trembling voice. Only, not. Sharon, ever the protective mother, immediately suspects someone is targeting her daughter. Given Mariah's traumatic history with cult leader Ian Ward, Sharon can't shake the fear that someone connected to that dark past has returned. But Mariah insists that Ian is long gone. "This feels different," she says. "It feels personal." Meanwhile, at work, Mariah's behavior starts to change. She becomes distracted, jumpy, and irritable, especially when mysterious emails begin landing in her inbox. The messages are cryptic and chilling. "You can't hide from who you really are. Remember the walls. Remember the darkness." One email even includes a video attachment, a grainy clip of a woman humming the same lullaby Mariah used to sing to Aria. The twist? The background looks eerily similar to the room where Mariah was once held captive. Devon and Abby notice her unease during meetings, but Mariah brushes off their concern. "I'm fine," she insists, though her trembling hands tell another story. Tessa tries to reach her, but Mariah keeps her distance, terrified that whatever's happening might endanger her family. "I can't let this touch you or Aria," she whispers late one night. But isolation only makes things worse. One evening, Mariah returns home to find the nursery window open, and a single white rose lying in Aria's crib. Panic grips her. That flower has significance. It was Ian Ward's twisted symbol of rebirth. Now, she's certain someone is sending her a message. The question is, who? Sharon calls Nick for "please subscribe and like the video before continuing" help, urging him to use his Newman resources to track the messages. Nick agrees, but what he discovers only deepens the mystery. The emails were routed through an encrypted server located just outside Genoa City. Whoever is behind this knows how to cover their tracks. The list of suspects grows. Could it be someone from Mariah's past, perhaps a former cult member seeking revenge? Or maybe someone closer to home, with an agenda she can't yet see? The investigation takes a shocking turn when Chancellor steps in. Having experience in both law enforcement and private investigations, Chance digs into recent unsolved cases involving break-ins and identity thefts. He finds a pattern: several of the victims had connections to Newman Enterprises or Chancellor Winters. This suggests the haunting of Mariah might be part of something much bigger. Still, the psychological toll is mounting. Mariah begins to have nightmares, vivid, horrifying dreams of being trapped again, hearing Arya crying in the distance, only to wake up and find herself standing outside the baby's room, disoriented and trembling. Tessa finds her one night like this and insists she see a therapist. But Mariah is convinced this isn't just in her head. "Someone wants me to believe I'm losing it," she says. "And I won't let them win." As fear turns into fury, Mariah takes matters into her own hands. She sets up cameras around the house, installs new locks, and even starts carrying pepper spray. But one night, when she reviews footage from Arya's room, her blood runs cold. A shadowy figure appears in the doorway, tall, indistinct, but unmistakably real. The figure stands there for several seconds before vanishing into thin air. The next morning, the camera is gone. Only the memory card remains, placed neatly on Mariah's pillow. The message is clear: whoever's haunting her isn't afraid. They want her to know they're watching. Tessa, terrified for her family, insists they leave town for a while. But Mariah refuses. "Running means they win," she says. "And I've spent too much of my life being afraid." With Sharon's help, Mariah begins to dig into her own past, revisiting memories she's long tried to suppress. It's there that she remembers a face, someone who might be behind this torment. A woman named Claire Donovan, a devoted follower of Ian Ward who vanished after his arrest. Claire had once obsessed over Mariah, believing she was chosen. Could she have resurfaced, seeking revenge? Sharon brings this theory to Chance, who promises to investigate. But before he can act, another shocking event rocks Genoa City. Mariah's car is found abandoned on the side of the road, engine running, doors unlocked, phone left behind. Panic ripples through the city. Has she been taken again? Tessa is inconsolable, fearing the worst. But 24 hours later, Mariah is found wandering near the edge of town, disoriented, bruised, and unable to remember how she got there. Doctors say she's suffering from severe psychological trauma, but Mariah insists she please subscribe and like the video before continuing. "Wasn't hallucinating. Someone took me," she whispers. "I heard them talking. They knew my name. They knew about Arya." Sharon stays by her side, determined to get to the truth. Devon and Abby offer support, while Chance doubles down on the investigation. Then, just when hope seems dim, evidence surfaces: a small silver pendant found near where Mariah was discovered. The inscription? "For my daughter." Sharon recognizes it instantly. It's identical to one she once gave to Cassie. The haunting realization hits her: this torment isn't random. It's tied to Mariah's identity, her connection to Cassie, and perhaps something far darker buried in the Newman family history. Victor Newman steps in, furious that his granddaughter has been targeted. With his influence, he launches a private investigation that leads to a startling discovery: Claire Donovan, the missing cult member, has been operating under an alias, working quietly in Genoa City for months. And she's been watching Mariah's every move. When Chance and Nick finally track Claire down, they find a chilling shrine in her apartment, photos of Mariah, baby Arya, and Sharon, along with dozens of journal entries detailing Claire's mission to reunite Mariah with her true destiny. The revelation sends shockwaves through Genoa City. Claire is arrested, but the trauma lingers. Mariah, though safe, struggles to reclaim her peace. Nightmares still haunt her, and every noise makes her flinch. Tessa stands by her side, but even she can see the toll this has taken. In one heart-wrenching scene, Mariah breaks down, admitting, "I thought I'd finally built a life where I was free. But maybe I'll always be running from the ghosts of who I used to be." Yet, in true Mariah fashion, strength begins to rise from the ashes of fear. She decides to speak publicly about her experience, turning her pain into advocacy for trauma survivors. Her emotional speech at Society leaves the room in tears, and proves that though haunted, she's far from broken. As Genoa City breathes a sigh of relief, a final scene teases that the nightmare may not be over. A mysterious envelope arrives at Mariah and Tessa's doorstep. Inside, a single white rose, and a note that reads, "The walls remember." The haunting continues. Week of October 20th, 2025. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Fans will also see Nate Hastings, Sean Dominic, get a surprise invitation. Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, plots payback toward Christine Blair, Laura Lee Bell. Later, Phyllis and Kane come to an understanding. Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, goes out on a limb for Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver. Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, and Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, worry about Noah Newman's, Lucas Adams, medical condition. Plus, Nick meets Sienna. What is this? Report ad. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of October 20th, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next.